All right, now all rise. Michelle Malkin joins us from Colorado Springs. Good morning to you. Nice to see you.
Good morning to you.
Hey, later today, Senators Hatch and Baucus, it looks like they're going to start the ball rolling to overhaul the tax system and the tax code in this country, and a lot of Americans would like to see that. Doesn't come a minute too soon. Yesterday, another IRS official took the fifth. We're talking about a guy by the name of Greg Roseman. It sounds like he clammed up because it sounds like he steered about $500 million worth of government contracts to a friend of his who essentially told a whopper of a story.
Yeah, that's right. The company is called Strong Castle Inc. And, of course, they're all tight-lipped there on that panel before Darrell Issa, the chairman of the House Government Oversight and Reform Committee. But a lot of it has come out about this very preferential and beneficial relationship between the contracting officer and this small business. Of course, it points out to just how leviathan and massive the tax code and all of the enforcement rules are, and how it is ripe for this kind of abuse and fraud that is now being highlighted. Anything that gives momentum to the effort to make our tax code fairer, flatter, and our government smaller, I'm all for. 3 cheers for that.
Yeah, well, the thing about this particular guy who got the $500 million, it sounds like he had applied for a special government program that was available to veterans who had a disability. Well, as it turns out, this guy had no connection, aside from his friend at the IRS, no connection to the military other than the fact he played at the U.S. Military Academy in prep school and twisted his ankle 27 years ago, and he's absolutely fine. And yet he said, I should get the money because of what I've given to my country.
Yes, that's right. A real hero there. And it's exactly those kind of yarns that are being told to get these kind of bennies. Fortunately, there was a rival company that shed light on this, and you know, there's all sorts of good whistleblowing going on, and I'm sure that there are so many other companies out there that have very similar stories to tell, and now the floodgates have really broken open. It's a good thing.
And Michelle, I don't know if you had a chance to see the exchange between Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth, who is an injured veteran. She's a double amputee.
Oh, yes.
And how she dressed him down. I mean, just in a very sort of even-keeled, calm yet compelling way.
Yeah, I think it was a fairly devastating deconstruction of this faker story. And I think that's, you know, part of the huge outrage here is the abuse of something that was really intended to help people who were bona fide veterans and war heroes and people who've served our country.
Surely.
Yeah. It's just outrageous. Michelle, here's something else that's worrying a lot of Americans. What's going to happen with their health care? Let's throw up this new poll, because how does Obamacare make you feel about your current health care in this country? 66% of folks say they're worried now. That's a huge tick up from 2012 when they weren't as much worried, but 51%, that's still a high number. Now we're learning that the White House is basically recruiting some celebrities to go out and make sort of the PR pitch for Obamacare. Get, I don't know, television commercials, print advertisements, getting some celebrities to go out there. What do you make of this?
Yeah, well, this is just the latest in the No Obamacare Propagandist Left Behind program at the White House. And what you have is a recruitment strategy to get every last celebrity. Now there's sports authorities, the NFL, the NBA have been dragooned into this by Kathleen Sebelius at HHS. And of course, I think the biggest outrage is one you didn't mention, but which has gotten out there because of conservative journalists and reporters. There's a blogger, Lauren Heal, that talked about this. Even school children in Los Angeles being recruited to lie about the great success of Obamacare. And really, who's surprised? We knew that this entire enterprise was going to be a massive effort to justify bigger government, and so, of course, now they're spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to pay people to flack for something that is an obvious failure, which those poll numbers underscore. The truth is finally getting out there, and sunlight is the best disinfectant.
It always is. Meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about the Paula Deen story. You know, people now know that she said in a deposition that that one time she used the N-word a very long time ago. She has since apologized. And Food Network dumped her, and other companies have dumped her as well. Yesterday, Stacey Dash, who was one of the stars of the movie Clueless, also in the campaign cycle, endorsed Mitt Romney. She sent out this tweet. She tweeted, "God does everything for a reason," at Paula Deen. "Only God can judge your heart. By the way, my daughter loves your show. Only way to get me to cook." After she tweeted that, she was, as you detailed on your website, Twitchy, she was absolutely ravaged.
Yes, and this is a great example.
Ripped apart.
Yes, ravaged and savaged, both of them, Steve. This is a great example of just how two-faced and hypocritical so many of these members of the tolerance mob are. Because at the same time they condemn Paula Deen for bigotry and prejudice and the crimes of racism in public, they then turn around and sling the worst kind of racial epithets and misogynistic insults at a woman, Stacey Dash, who had the audacity to be kind and compassionate towards somebody who's been under attack. Is it not unassailably true that, yes, God is the ultimate judge of her heart? Of course it is. But for simply sending that message, you should see the filth and vile bile that's come her way. It's one of the reasons that I started Twitchy in the first place, and we've got a great team that monitors a lot of the reaction from the far left that has gotten away with these double standards when it comes to racism. And liberal racists are the absolute worst.
She joins us every week at this time.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah, check out her website. It is twitchy.com.